In this session, we'll be practicing the mirror tool, which is a editing tool, and that can be found in the modify panel under home. All right, there's home, modify panel. So to open up this exercise, go to your AutoCAD practice exercises, go down the menu and look for editing tools mirror, open up the or click on the template, open it up and save it as a exercise to do, and this should be what it looks like to once you've done that. And we are going to work with mirror for now. So there is a exercise at the end of this document, and that's to do with mirroring and a section of a window. And for now we'll just work with mirrors. So I just need you to go to your management properties drop down menu, click on the arrow here, and let's turn off window frame. Let's keep text on, mirror, assessment, and 0. Let's close that. We are currently in the layer mirror, and so here we can be able to practice the command mirror. All right, so before we begin, I just want to say that what is mirror all about? Mirror is used to reverse an image of a selected object, e.g. to change the object from a left hand to right hand version, just like this desk. If we don't like it in this position, we can flip it and it can be represented on the right hand side, or a mirrored or reversed version of what's there. It's created through a mirror line, which is an imaginary line around which the selected objects are reversed or mirrored. This line has no length, it only has an angle. The position and angle of the mirror line will determine the position of the mirrored object. So it is important to keep your polar tracking on. Okay, so here we got our polar tracking, and I'm just going to make sure that I'm setting that to about 45 degrees or angle, and with that it will help me be able to mirror this object. So the icon for an icon for mirror is over here, and that is found in the modify panel, which is that. So click on mirror, and we are now going to select our object that we're wanting to mirror. We don't just want to select, say for instance, this line. We want to select all the objects together because they are creating a desk and we want to mirror this whole desk. So I've currently got my little pick point, and what I need to do is create a green selection box or window box, and I click just once at the top right hand corner, and I follow through and click again at the bottom left corner, and now everything in that green box was highlighted and selected to be mirrored. So I am still in the command mirror, and it's asking me to still select more objects. I've selected all the objects. It's found 25 objects found, so each line is an object or item I've drawn there, and so I press enter to just finish that command, and now it says, provides me with an option. What do I want to do next? And that is specify the first point of the mirror line. So I see that I've got some space here. I don't want to mirror that to be down here, so I think my best mirrored point or pick point or base point is over here. So I'm just going to zoom in, and I'm going to click this corner, which is where the desk is, the corner of the desk, and I'm going to mirror that. So now you can actually see how my polar tracking is working there. It's mirrored around a central line which is associated with angles, not distance. So you can actually see my vector lines turning green at 45 degrees. Okay, so I would like to mirror my desk exactly opposite or reversed to my current desk. So I just pull it down and or up. That's also another way of doing it. So if I go 90 degrees up and I just click, I have now my two desks. Okay. And do I want to erase the original desk? Here it's actually giving you the default as no, but you could say yes. All right. Now you'll see that it has mirrored everything, including the text. You can actually see desk is written in a mirrored version or a reverse version. So we can actually change that, and I'll get to that in the next little while. So at the moment, we are just going to say yes. We're wanting to erase the original source, so we say yes. And the original source that we mirrored has been erased, and now we're left with our new mirrored desk. All right, let's just practice that command again, and we're just going to press enter. But before we're going to do that, we want to well, let's just do that. Actually, I'll get to the mirror text in a little bit. So let's just practice that again. So we are going to choose mirror, which is clicking on the icon, or down here just typing in shorthand MIR, and mirror should come up, mirror. And we can also use the blue window box by going that direction, as long as everything in it is selected. And we're going to press yes, so in other words click, and we're going to finish that command because we've selected all the objects in that selection box. We're going to go enter, and we're going to pick the endpoint that we're wanting to mirror, which is over there, and we are going to put it back. I mean, I could even have it there at 45 degrees. I'll pull out. All right. And in that sense, I could click and, delete my original source. But for now, let's just go back to our original position. Okay. And it says, do you erase source objects? And I'll say yes. And now we're back to square one, which is desk. All right. So, with that being said, let's practice moving this desk with a distance of 900. So in other words, between this desk, where this desk ends, and where the mirrored reverse desk is, I want that gap to be 900. Now remember, mirror mirrors everything, so it doesn't mirror. I can't just type in 900 and it's going to displace to its new location at 900. No. It's what it does is that you've got to think and say, okay, it's got a gap of 900. I've got to think now half of that, because half of that is going to be mirrored, and that's what makes up the 900 as a gap. So there's two ways of doing it. You can physically draw a little line. All right, so you could draw a line from here, and literally when you pull it out to negative x, or in the left hand direction, just pulling your cursor out that way, you can actually type in 450. All right, and now you've got a line, so you can press enter, and that finishes that command. And you can actually see that if I mirror exactly this object and connect the two points together, then I can erase those two lines and I'll have that gap of 900. So that's just a quick way of doing it without using object snap tracking. And for this specific exercise, I'm also going to use mirror text, meaning that it defaults to 1. 1 means that mirror text is on. And if you type a value of 0, it means that mirror text is off. So it doesn't mirror the text, and therefore your text will be written left to right and not right to left as a mirror. Okay, so let's practice that. We're going to, it's waiting for my next command. As you can see, I've got a little cursor going around, and we are going to type in mirror text. All right, so there it is there. So there's mirror text. Click it. And what does it say? It says enter new value for mirror text. Currently it's on. So when it's on, it displays a 1. So if I had to just copy exactly this item like I did earlier, it will reverse the text. I don't want to reverse the text, so I'm going to switch it off, and by switching it off, I press 0. So let's press 0. 0 and press enter. All right. Now I can choose my icon mirror, or I can literally just type in MIRR and it will take me to mirror here. And we are going to create our selection box again. So we are going to select all that there. Okay. Click again, press enter. And now we are going to use our endpoint here and click. And now it's immediately mirroring that desk over there. What I do is just so you can see, I pull it upwards. If I pull it up to a 90-degree angle, I now have my desk situated in a horizontal position but flipped or reversed, and the text is written the right way, so I can read desk. It's not reversed. The writing's not reversed, or the text isn't reversed. All right. So pull up, click. Do you want to erase the original source? Let's say just no. And now we've got two desks. Okay. So you don't want that line and you don't want that line. So you can either just choose erase, because they're seen as two separate objects, and enter. And now we have our desk with a gap of 900. Okay, so that's one way of doing it when you need to mirror an object, but also with a distance. Mirror it and then move it with a distance. Okay, and that's the same if you're needing to mirror it up or down, or left or right. Okay, so we are just going to erase this one for now. So I'm just going to select that and go erase. Okay, so we're back to square one again. And what we're going to do is actually show that we can mirror, but with using polar tracking as a helpful tool to, instead of actually drawing a physical line, so that we could attach the midpoint of that. So let's do that as a option 2 with mirroring a workstation to produce a pair with a distance of 900 mils between each desk. So we're going to select mirror. We're going to select all the objects, and by doing that we're going to create a selection window or box which turns green, pulling it from top right to bottom left. Click, and everything in there turns Lumo blue, and that means that it's selected. So 25 objects have been found, and so I press enter. All right, and it's saying specify first point of mirror. So that is my first point. That's my base point. And I'm really wanting to just to make sure that I'm going to displace it correctly by 900. So I pull it out and I use my polar tracking when it displays at 180 like this. And you can see in my gray little hairline prompt next to my cursor, it says there's 663 smaller than 180. Then I can press and I can actually type in 450 as a distance because I want it to be starting at 900, but it mirrors that 450. So everything is mirrored, even distance. So I press enter, and now you can actually see that there's the 450, and if I hover that way to the desk, it will make another 450. So pull it down or pull it up, whatever you feel comfortable with. But remember, if you pull it to the left or to the right, it's going to get a bit stuck. So that's why you need to pull it up or down. Okay. And do I want to keep my original? Yep, why not? So let's say erase source objects, say no. All right, so there we go. So with polar tracking, I literally hovered over there, selected my base point, pulled it out with my cursor in a horizontal position. That created the 180 degrees. I then typed in 450. It moved that imaginary line to 450, which started mirroring off, and therefore I could get that distance or displacement distance between the two edges of the desk, or gap between the two desks, at 900. Okay, so you could actually copy that desk and flip it this way down. That's really for you to now just go ahead and practice on your own. But we could also take the move control and we could highlight that, and we can actually now move selected objects. Yes, I'm going to use that corner, and I wanted to put it exactly in this corner here. All right, and now my desk is situated in that corner there. Okay, so it's helpful to be able to mirror objects instead of having to redraw them in a reversed version. So that is a really useful tool to have if you've got a couple of layouts to do with space planning, especially for when you have to repeat or produce a whole lot of images and they are in reverse to each other. So practice that, and later on you can see that there is a window frame that needs to be mirrored, and you need to be able to use mirror, line, fillet, erase, copy, and move tools. So it's actually combining all the tools that I've just spoken about recently. I hope that helps a lot.